Hi guys, and welcome! Now that we covered the event story and Leonid's journey, we will see how the goddess of desire came to be. Her reflections memories partially mirror Leonid's, so you should check out his video too. Anyway, let's find out who this goddess is. At sunrise, the roses will bloom, the wind will blow from the orchard. Only the boy is sad from his dream. What is it that you desire? Is it wealth? Fame? Love? There's no desire to be ashamed of, the goddess will always be listening. She is the strongest desire in your heart, the deepest secret in your soul. Despite the mixed feelings it awakens in people's minds, desire isn't evil. It is the purest, prettiest thing in the world. What is your desire? Everyone wishes for something. Usually it starts with a simple desire. Hers did too. But once a desire is satisfied, another one appears and takes its place. There is no end. The abyss exists in everyone's heart. Listen, it is calling you. Countless souls and emotions were born and died in the chaotic abyss, sinking into the bottomless void. But she is different. She wants to see the sun above the sea, and be the only person it shines on. Then, a flower had the same desire. Only it was forgotten in an attic, and its spirit faded quickly. Its voice full of desire passed by the goddess, and she caught it. And it filled her with new energy. But this brief moment of joy quickly disappeared. More voices swelled in the abyss, their echo coming from the ocean of memories. As she captured them, they began to fill her body. Among these voices was music from Mirrorland. It was beautiful, carrying the smell of apple blossoms and sounds of desire. The echoes of people's infinite wishes grew louder. She flapped her new skeletal wings above the bustling abyss. Then, she also changed her appearance, so she would have the most beautiful face and a pure white dress. The smell of apples lingered on her fingertips and petals danced around her. She could turn hell into heaven. She represented the truest, kindest, and most beautiful things, and grew more powerful as desires kept pouring into her body. Among the abyssal monsters who ate broken souls, a skeleton appeared. It's been here for a long time, and managed to collect enough evil thoughts to gain a full body. For now, it couldn't move nor speak, only making a gargling noise that vaguely resembled an excited laugh. She blinked, and it started waltzing to melodious music. She then snapped her fingers, and it was suddenly wearing a debonair tuxedo. "Thank you very much, master." The skeleton saluted her, kneeling down on one knee and taking her hand. It was rare to see such intense desire to do evil. She has found her loyal follower. Now she only wanted the greedy voices to always grow louder and never stop. She came to Mirrorland to feed on people's desires, but then quickly tired of it. Their desires were ordinary, so boring. Not long afterwards, the most beautiful man she's ever seen fell into the abyss, the sea gently brushing through his silver hair. He was the first human she encountered here, and the monsters quickly swarmed as if smelling fresh meat. With Nightbane, they tried many tricks to find a single evil thought in his soul in vain. The man often held a pen, drawing an angel sketch whose light was striking in the abyss. But he couldn't finish it. It always got stained by the darkness. Nightbane soon got bored, but the goddess only grew more curious and eventually found a glimmer of desire hidden deep within the man's eyes. But it wasn't like any of the other ordinary desires she was used to. It was the fall of Mirrorland and the destruction of all the stars in the sky, the most ambitious desire ever. With its power, she would be able to get everything. The entire abyss, Mirrorland, the ocean of memories, every civilization. But the man was suppressing his desires, like did many others before. She wanted him to be her only ally, and they would rule together over the new world. She created an immaculate mirage for him and changed back to her original form, then gently called his name. Leonid looked up at her with a tinge of doubt. But hearing that this would be the new Mirrorland after the current one gets destroyed piqued his curiosity. Leonid was looking at the starry sky with the exploding galaxies, shocked by the beauty he was witnessing. Even when it all turned to ash, his eyes were still glowing. With a sweet smile, she revealed her true nature to him. She could give him what he wanted. Hasn't he been searching for eternal beauty? The new world would be spotless, peaceful, beautiful. Leonid was in control of their destiny, and she, as the embodiment of desire, was the beginning and the end of this world. She reached out to him, inviting him gently. She could see the gleam in his eyes, but he shook his head. She didn't mind, though. She could be patient. he would eventually come back to her. Waving her hand, she left him behind in the darkness. She had originally thought that once a human saw their desires granted, they would no longer be able to resist temptation. When she saw Leonid again, he was cloaked in darkness, countless black feathers falling around him. Holding his manuscript, he sighed. The white angel on the paper had become darker than the blackest of nights. Everything was going according to plan, and she rushed over to him holding up her skirt. But instead of hearing him beg for the realization of his desire, he said, "I want to bid you farewell." She froze with her outstretched hand, looking incredulously at him. Why? How could he give up on his deepest desire? The magnificent destruction? "It's not what I want," he said. She didn't see why it mattered that nothing would be real in this new world she'd create. She was struggling to keep her smile, her sweet voice. No one has ever rejected her. "You wouldn't understand," added Leonid. "No one has ever spoken to her like this." He looked disappointed, yet his voice was detached but gentle. He didn't even bother to explain what he meant. The surging darkness condensed into 6 beautiful wings behind him. He turned towards the goddess one last time, as the dark waves surrounded them. The feathers of his wings gave off a brilliant glow like nothing she's ever seen. Leonid was like a star burning through the darkness. The goddess was lost, humiliated. Why would he refuse her? When she chased after him out of the abyss, the light formed a huge web that burned her when she touched it. She was alone, left behind with those stupid, inferior souls. Nightbane reassured his master. One day, this world will all be hers. Unconvinced, the goddess wearily slumped on the ground, barely glancing at the excited skeleton. He was completely immersed in his wonderful plan. He will give her the perfect vessel to reach Mirrorland. Looking into the infinite darkness, the beautiful melody and the smell of apples were calling her. She will have to enjoy it all alone, seeing how Leonid has been foolish enough to betray her, to betray his own desire. So, she will fulfill it for him. The Ninir Palace was empty, plunged into darkness. Even the original crystal on the throne seemed to be asleep. Lilith was sitting alone. "You have a visitor, your majesty," announced Nightbane. She was on her way to bed when the goddess appeared. "Do you not want to see me?" Lilith's eyes sparkled. She was beautiful when she was filled with desire. She felt as if they've met before. Of course they have. Raising her hand, the goddess turned the palace into a burning stage, the one from the Star Heaven Swan pageant. All Lilith has now is a gift from her own desires. Doesn't she remember? Desire gave her the most beautiful body, but her goal is unreachable. She can't get eternal love. As she was telling her this, the goddess's gaze never left Lilith's eyes. She didn't miss how her expression shifted under her delicate mask. But the goddess didn't even need to look. They were so similar. She saw right into her soul. "You are so close," she said. "If you give me your entire soul, you'll earn what you desire." She was standing right before Lilith, holding her beautiful face like a delectable fruit. Countless girls had the same wish, but they were never ready to pay the price. Now Lilith's face reflected her own, so bitter, so persistent, so full of greed. She was ready. Without hesitation, she reached for the goddess's hand, but just as she was about to hold it, an unexpected figure intruded. Ashley shouted in disagreement, her eyes wide from fear, her voice trembling. She stood as firmly as she could. The goddess's eyes narrowed. Nightbane still wasn't thorough enough. "I don't want you to control me," insisted Ashley, "nor for you to destroy this world." "But it wanted to destroy her once," the goddess answered. But Ashley shook her head as if removing the painful memories. Her rambling annoyed the goddess. Raising her hand, she made Ashley burst into flames, and she turned into a pile of ash. Lilith watched the girl she once was burn. She looked as if she wanted to say something, but eventually stayed quiet. Turning to Lilith again, the goddess asked, "Do you want to create a world of eternal love with me?" "I do." Lilith's eyes reflected the dark abyss. She now had the perfect vessel. As their hands touched in the growing darkness, an even darker pact was created. Back in the palace, Nightbane welcomed the goddess. Lilith was still sitting on her throne, but her eyes had lost their gleam. You wonder if she still can't be saved, but the goddess only laughs. She is now one with her desire. All was as it should be. But then, an unpleasant voice floated faintly through the cold corridors.
Come, girl, come to Lake Silver Moon. The waves
The soft song came from a distance and lingered in sorrow. Nightbane was confused, but the goddess waved away his worries. It was nothing, just a futile struggle. Starting tomorrow, this world will be reborn. The world is full of fire and frost. Dress up and dance in doom, because angels will come and bring glory to the land. Although I understand how they link the reflections' memories to the events they are from, I would have appreciated reading something new about the Goddess of Desire. It does get a bit repetitive here, which is kinda sad. I did like how Leonid's refusal is written, as if it's an ugly breakup, and now her only goal is to prove him wrong. Now, as for Leonid, let's check Desire's profile. She is a personification, an embodiment of people's feelings of desire, who has a consciousness of her own. And she's eternal, as long as living beings will strive for something, she will exist. I do wonder if Leonid witnessed her attempt to destroy Mirland during the crisis, and if he felt guilty or responsible for what was happening, or maybe just curious about the outcome? The biblical symbolism is interestingly used here, as both God's fruit and the snake aren't presented as opposites, but just equal objects of desire. Sadly, we don't get more about her view of Nikki, but seeing how strong her desire to save the world is, it's just as strong, if not even stronger, than Leonid's is to destroy it. So why doesn't the goddess actively try to get her to her side to use her desire's power? Let me know, of course, if you have any thoughts or ideas about all this. And here's her original pieces, again reinforcing the purity and neutrality even of desire itself. It's pure because it represents everyone's true feelings. But besides being holy and pure, she's also the biggest evil, depending on the desire she represents. And I do hope we get more Ashley in the future. I was really pleased seeing that a part of her gentle soul was spared. Of course, for this set, we also got a home dialogue. Let's see the set animations too. I really like the click-triggered ones.
When we possess power, we need to understand how to use it properly. Danger is hidden beneath this pair of fancy wings.
After seeing the set, the lore, her personality, I'm still thrown off by her voice. Before the event, I always imagined it a bit deeper and more seductive too.
I can hear it. The noises deep down in your heart. Why would someone make such a boring wish? Never mind. They will want another once this desire is fulfilled. That man has the most beautiful desire in the entire ocean of memories. Pity he doesn't know how to use it. Humans are such incredible creatures. The desire of one man can change a family, a country, even an entire world. What will you get from torturing humans? Sometimes you must treat them more gently and with patience. What would you like to see in the ocean of memories? Snow in the summer, flowers in the winter, an everlasting day, or the stars? I can create everything for you. That weak, insignificant skeleton? It can only reap lowly evils. But what I want is the purest greed. Don't you want a more beautiful, attractive fruit? I only favor souls that are greedy enough. Human desire is the only thing that is as infinite as the universe in this world. The world is a gorgeous play, and I am the protagonist who decides the climax behind the curtain. I represent the truest, kindest, and most beautiful things. I am the beginning and the end of the world. I don't remember what it's like to be satisfied. What I want has no end. Never stop satisfying your greed. Keep going. Remember, you can never be satisfied. I just gave humans what they wanted. Is it enough to grant a small wish? No, I don't like that.
Come on. I'll present you with the most beautiful dream.
And of course, we can't forget the moments posts. I like how everyone seems so lost in the comments. Oh, and how the designer's name is hidden by a red petal is also a nice touch. Then we have Nightbane, being a simp, like always. While searching for content, I also found out how this concept is designed by the goddess. The interesting thing here being the two other concepts designed by wisdom and emotion. Well, this was the third and last video about this whole hell event. I hoped you enjoyed it all and maybe learned a thing or two. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what I do, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!